So here on World Environment Day, the United Nations Day for the Environment, 5th of June, we're delighted to be joined by Peter Stormare, a very famous Hollywood actor, a playwright, a theatre director, a musician as well. Some of his great films that you may know: Dancer in the Dark, Minority Report, Awakenings, Fargo, The Grand Duke of Corsica. The list is long and it's legend. But it's super to have you with us. But you know, Peter, many people know you as an artist, as a director, as a Hollywood film actor. But very few people know that you're also a very passionate environmentalist. And where did that come from Peter?
Well, I think it goes way back to the early 70s, growing up with rock music and an awareness for our society. I grew up in a small village in the north of Sweden, but we couldn't swim in the local lakes and rivers because of all the pollution. So it was among youngsters, and it was taught in school. It became a subject in school. And the awareness grew when, I must say, if you look back, Europe in the 70s was so dirty. What we see today is nothing compared to what was going on in the 70s. There was no regulations at all. And we have done a really good job so far. And I think I'm part of this movement because I want the youngsters to step up as we did in the 70s and 80s. I'm getting too old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Peter, you raised a very interesting point there, because I think Europe did do a good job, and also in parts of North America as well. I mean, Canada and things like that, dealing with acid rain, a lot of local pollution problems, as you say, in lakes and rivers, which were very visible to people. You could even smell it, couldn't you? You could touch it. But the big challenges now seem to be almost invisible, but they're there. We know they're there because of the science, like climate change. And we know what we read about in terms of the loss of wonderful species of plants and animals, in Amazonia, for example, or in Africa. So it's a slightly different challenge now, in a sense. It's in some ways harder to convey these messages.
Well, it's harder because a lot of money are involved. And of course, the companies have to show revenues to the stockholders, and everything is a very strange circle. But it was the same back in the 70s. I must say, it hasn't really changed. It might be more invisible now, but I think the awareness is still there. I have a positive mindset, and I'm saying I'm a torchbearer, and there's a lot of torchbearers in this world, and we got to be more. We got to gather more people. But you know, it's I think I originally can't come from Sweden, and instead Sweden has taken a very strange route, which is significant, and I think indicative of all the industrial countries, that we just point fingers to other countries and say, well, we can pollute because we do less than Poland, we do less than China per capita, we do less than and I wish that Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark would stand up and show the rest of the world, this is how we do it. This is how we solve our problems. This is how we solve the pollution. This is how we go for alternative energy sources.
Well, that's right, Peter. I mean, but you know, governments can come and go, but the issues remain. Yeah. So
The issues
let's hope
remains.
that there's
The
a change
issues
of heart.
remains.
Yeah.
Yeah, the issues remain. But you know, I'm getting tired of people saying the solar, the solar panels are blocking my view to the ocean. You know, the windmills are ugly, and instead of saying yes to new innovations that can solve our problem here on Earth, because we're not here for
Yeah.
us, we're here for generations to come, and we just have to lay the pathway for generations to come.
So you're very obviously well connected with the arts, with the entertainment industry, and those industries. Do you think that I say the broad word, the arts, the culture, industrial activities, and that culture itself could do a little bit more to step up in terms of building even greater awareness of the challenges we face and motivating people to make a change?
Of course, it could. Theater and you know, entertainment in any shape or form And you can see it in movies. It's coming in, it's seeping in there, and it's hard, if you do an Ibsen or Shakespeare, to put a squeeze an environmental message in there. But it would be nice if you can perform Shakespeare as they did in good old days, to use like maybe
Hmm.
just some torches, not the electric light, and not the AC,
Hmm.
and the audience would be there and experience what it was in the good old days. But I think
Hmm.
the awareness in us human beings, it's spreading, and I know there's a lot of idiots in the media who gets points in the media for saying there's no global warming, is nothing is really happening. But I think there's more and more awareness, and I think as long as we continue like an organization like what you represent, and I to some degree, it is spreading. I can see it in my neighbors. I mean, we do recycle, we take care of things, we try to drive electric cars over here, we try to, you know, embrace the new innovations. And of course it comes with
Hmm.
problems too, but we're open-minded over here in California.
Good point, and I think that's quite right, Peter, because I think there are some things that we can celebrate worldwide. You just look at the penetration of renewable energy from almost nowhere 15 years ago, doubling every 3 years or 2.5 years globally. I mean, that's a really good story as well. That there is change possible, and it is happening in some sectors. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Peter, I wanted to say to you that we are absolutely delighted that we don't have time. And the millions of people who now follow us and watch our shows, to have you as an ambassador with us, and now also with Lewis Pugh, the endurance swimmer and UN patron of the oceans. We hope to add a few more names over the next coming months, but not too many, because we want a special group. Um, and in a sense, you contacted us, and I just wanted to know how did that happen? How did you become aware of us, and why did you want to be a part of our journey?
Well, it happened a while ago because I have a music manager based in England, Manchester, and he's a ardent and crazy environmentalist, maybe going overboard sometimes. But, he's been talking about this a long time. And we're doing a project like a revamping a band from the 70s called Ramesses. And they were very progressive, but very, very aware of the world they were living in. And they taught spiritual awareness together with Mother Earth and take care of Mother Earth. And he actually reached out a while ago, and finally we got an invitation to come and perform in Stockholm. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it live because of COVID and various things that going on in the world right now. But that's how we got in contact. And it's based in Sweden. I want to see changes in Sweden, and they are working globally. We don't have time, are working all over the world, which is great. But they're also doing a great job in Sweden. And as I said before, I'm very aware of the world, and I care about the world, of course. And I wish there were one country that stood up and said, "This is how we can solve problems in the future. Look at us."
All I can say is we're absolutely thrilled that you're with us. Thank you so much for finding the time to chat to us today, and we really look forward to seeing you in the flesh, as it were, very, very soon.
Thank you, Nick, and to everybody out there, spread the awareness. Start with your neighbor. You don't have to change the whole government, but you can start with your neighborhood. Make sure they recycle and they take care of whatever they throw out in the garbage. Don't be afraid to speak up.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thanks, Peter, very much indeed.
Thank you
Bye.
very much, Nick. Bye.